Hi, everyone. Welcome to College Diabetes Week. My name is Dan. I'm the program manager here at College Diabetes Network.
And I'm Stacy. I'm the communications assistant here at CDN. And today we want to talk to you about our Friday theme for College Diabetes Week, which is leadership. And we want to know how you are a leader in your diabetes community. And one of the ways to be a leader is through advocacy.
So before we start, I just want to give a quick shout out to Insulet, the makers of Omnipod, for supporting all of CDN's advocacy programs, including our political advocacy guide, which we published last year. There will be a link to download the guide in the description for this video. And also to the Diabetes Patient Advocacy Coalition, who has been our close partner in creating this guide and who have many, many resources available for people who want to make life better for people with diabetes.
So today we are lucky to have one of our awesome students, Emma, from Ohio University, and she's going to tell us how she gets involved in leadership and advocacy.
Hi, Emma. Thanks for joining us today. Sure. So to get started, why don't you tell us about yourself and your own personal journey?
Well, my name is Emma Zgonc, and right now I'm at Ohio University, and I'm studying global health and sociology, but I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 2011, so it's been a little over 7 years now. When I was first diagnosed, my family was very supportive, and I had supportive friends, and I quickly got plugged into the diabetes community through diabetes camp and doing diabetes walks. And now that I'm in college, I've continued that and joined the College Diabetes Network, and also now through DPAC. I'm also part of the diabetes community, which has just been a great way to stay motivated and be more accepting of my diagnosis.
Awesome. Thanks. So tell us about the weekend that you just spent down in Washington, D.C. with DPAC. First of all,
DPAC is the Diabetes Patient Advocacy Coalition. This is a fairly new organization. They just were co-founded in 2015 by a group of people with diabetes. They're also by providers and different diabetes organizations and companies all have come together to create this organization. And DPAC focuses on advocacy through access and quality primarily. There's a lot of great organizations right now who focus a lot on research and some other initiatives. But DPAC just wants to kind of fill the gap that's there right now and really just raise more awareness for diabetes and just have a greater voice and amplify diabetes policy right now.
So why did you personally apply to attend this event, and what interested you about
I applied actually after I found out about DPAC through CDN, through the leader retreat. And about a year ago, I probably never would have considered applying for a program like this because I didn't think, just as a college student, young person, that I'd really be able to advocate for others and myself. But I quickly have learned that that's not true and that I can. And my whole life, I've had parents and my friends and healthcare professionals advocate for me through school settings and for accommodations and things. I knew that now it was time for me to kind of step up and advocate for myself and others who can't advocate for themselves.
Awesome. And Emma, what would you say the purpose of the event this past
weekend it was to train a group. I think there were 30 or so of us who were there, and they called us DPAC champions. And it was just to prepare us so that we can actually go out and advocate continually for DPAC and just for the diabetes community. And we just received a lot of training on how to effectively tell our story, what advocacy really is, because I didn't really know what advocacy consisted of until I went on this program. And I learned that it's even little things, just telling somebody I meet what diabetes is. If they have a misunderstanding and correcting them, then that can be advocacy for yourself. So it was a very informative weekend, and the purpose was just to train us so that we can be better prepared to go out and help to spread awareness for diabetes and with health policies that are coming out.
That's awesome. So tell us about, in your opinion, what the biggest issues people with diabetes
I think
are
the
facing
biggest
right now.
issue right now is affordable insulin. That's actually one of the things that we went out for on Monday after that weekend. We went up to the Hill and we were able to advocate and talk to congressional staff about affordable insulin and share our story, no matter what connection to diabetes it was, to just bring awareness and let these staffers know, and then let the Congress members know what this issue is right now. And anyone affected by diabetes knows that affordable insulin is a huge issue. Personally, the first month of the year, I spend $1,200 for my insulin without insurance. So it can it's a great cost for something that we need to live. So I think this is a big, complex issue because there's a lot of different people involved with the insulin manufacturers and insurance, and then also there's a bunch of different steps in between that need to be addressed with insulin pricing.
Awesome, thank you. So, what was your biggest takeaway from this weekend, and what are you going to do differently either on your campus or in your community after
Well,
attending
after the weekend,
this event?
I really learned that experience doesn't matter. I was really nervous going into the weekend because I was the youngest person there. Most of these people were already well into their careers and had some prior experience with advocacy and other diabetes-related things. So I was a little nervous going in, but I quickly realized that didn't matter, and that you could just tell your story. I think that's one of the most important things to know. Nobody else has your story. You can't mess it up. So as long as you're confident and know what can be able to tell your story about diabetes and why an issue matters to you, then I think that's the most important thing to take away from it. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. How can college students and young adults get involved with advocacy? And what advice would you give your peers after attending this event?
Can definitely be intimidating. So for college students and young people, I would just recommend to just seek out resources. And for one of the first steps, if you haven't voted yet or are not registered to vote, I think that's a very important step to take. And I think another great step is there's the CDN. They have a political advocacy guide. And DPAC also has some great resources. They have an app right now, which makes it very easy. You just scroll through and it tells you some issues that are in your area and nationwide. And it's just as easy as just clicking a button. In 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes, you've filled out a form and are able to advocate for an issue, a current issue right now.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for talking with us, Emma. It was great to have you. We're so glad that you got to attend this event and that you were able to tell us about it. If you haven't already seen it, Emma wrote a great blog about her experience at the DPOC training, which is on our website now. And that's all that we have for you today. We hope everyone had a great College Diabetes Week, and we look forward to talking again soon.
Thanks.
Bye.